Whenever you're ready.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Lunch and Learn series on Tuesdays at noon. Running just a tad late. I had a networking event. And so, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Helen Panos, Dynamis Learning, a K through 12 tutoring, SAT, ACT prep company, and executive functioning. We help kids who are struggling and or want to advance. We do all types of subjects from English to Spanish to French to SAT prep to chemistry, physics, all of it. We've even done environmental science this past year. Had to get a tutor for that. So, anyhow, we usually can find a tutor that you need. I have a lot of connections and resources, being an educator myself of 25 plus years in a school system in the metro Atlanta area. So today I call him Stash for short. I do know how to say his real name, Anastasios. And so thank you for coming on today, Stash, and joining me on this Lunch and Learn. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
And so Stash is one of my tutors. I'll let him kind of introduce himself a little bit and tell you what he likes to tutor.
Oh yeah, I mean, I especially like tutoring the language and like Spanish or literature kind of stuff. But then I also do a little bit of math, and then it's not as glamorous, but I like the standardized testing as well.
I guess you know Greek too, right?
Yeah, I do. That hasn't come up as often, but if anybody needs it,
No, it hasn't, but maybe I need to market that.
colleges like classical studies department or something like that.
That's true. So today we're going to talk about test success without the stress. And wow, who doesn't want stress when it comes to test success, right? I think I used to have test anxiety now looking back, especially when I took the SAT. I remember back then you only took it one time. You didn't get to take it multiple times. There was no reason for it actually back then. But now everybody takes it at least 3 times. So we're going to talk about really just taking tests within classrooms. I know Stash has also done SSAT for me, but one in particular student I'm thinking about really had a take-home test, and we'll get to her in a minute. But many students know the material, but they still don't perform well on tests. What is the biggest reasons that you see, Stash, that students struggle with, and what can parents do to help them?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of it is like either anxiety or confidence or some mixture of the two, or those can sometimes, feed off of each other and improve each other or take each other down. But as far as the anxiety part, I've seen, children perform more poorly when there's like a lot of pressure put on them and it's made out to be this like high stakes thing, and if you don't do well this is going to happen, and kind of
Mm-hmm.
fear mongering, and like you better this and I paid for it so you're going to do it, that kind of stuff
Yeah.
doesn't usually.
Drop your grade. It's the end of the world.
Yeah, just that kind of like any kind of like authoritarian, forceful, fearful
uh,
type thing. It just kind of is a more of a setback, and then it makes the anxiety worse, because the anxiety really is almost like a stage fright or a performance anxiety. It's not like they don't know, why they're doing it, or that they don't respect the parent or anything like that. It's just,
Yep.
it's hard to be put on a spotlight and be examined, and I think we all know, it can be, your insecurities can kind of bubble up when you're being examined, and that it's going to be measured, and then it's more importantly going to be measured against your peers. It's going to be used to sort you out and enable you from different career paths and stuff like that. But I think the thing that solves that the most is the being able to take it multiple times aspect.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
Because back then, I think we only took it one time. I don't know about you. You're much younger than me.
yeah, multiple times. I took it multiple times because there was like a free one through the school, and
Uh-huh.
then pay and go on a weekend and take it again if you wanted. So yeah, I think that could help kids with their anxiety and their performance anxiety, is to allow them if possible, it's not always practical, but allow them multiple times to take it so that when they're taking it the first or second time, they know, they could take it again. And then, that way it's not like a do or die that very day. You can maybe loosen them up a little bit.
We just had a student that actually got to text the parents and see how she did in June. She took the SAT. And I know, like, just a couple days before, the mom says, even though she's very intelligent, Ira was doing that prep. And so they were like, oh, she gets test anxiety. I'm like, oh, like she's telling me 2 days before the test. I said, oh, I have an essential student guide. Let me send you that specific page and I have some ideas of what she can do. One thing that people don't think about is, number one, you shouldn't be cramming the day before. At that point, if you've been doing what you've been doing all along for a test, then cramming the night before is probably not the best thing. It just makes you more nervous probably. And so instead, what people don't think about is maybe watch a comedy show or something like that the night before instead, so you can kind of relax, especially if you do have test anxiety for any test, really.
That's funny to bring that up. That was as a student, that was my go-to thing, is to tell myself if I'm going to cram, it's not the day before, it's the day before that. And then reserve the day before. I would always go to the movies, like movie theater, because that's like, it's quiet. It forces you to stay still. No one's going to talk to you, hopefully. It's like dark, cool, and you can kind of escape for a little bit.
And you have to focus on the movie.
Yeah, cramming is going to make the anxiety worse because it's going to make you feel like there's something else you could have done. Mm-hmm. And then, it's like, well, if I actually know it, then what am I cramming for? So that can make the anxiety a lot worse.
Right. Yep. If parents could start doing just one thing this summer to help their child feel more confident, less anxious about tests next school year, what would you recommend then that they start looking at or doing? Because, school starts here early August, believe it or not.
I mean, that's probably the most common sense, intuitive one is just making observations and compliments and positive feedback. And it can feel kind of corny or weird, but it still does make a difference. And I think all people look to get a compliment, even though it might be something they know, or they might know that, oh, you're just saying that because, you're my wife, or what do you know what I mean? Like, but it's still somewhere deep down, I think there's like a visceral confidence boost, and, just little things.
Parents need to pump up, maybe with some positive notes.
Not fake, not fake at all. Like just real stuff. I mean, it's like, oh, I like, I'm proud of the way you solved that problem, or that was kind of a great way. I'm proud of you that the way you helped your friend through that break. I don't know, whatever comes up.
Positive affirmations.
Anything, yeah, exactly. And if you're actually looking for it and just bounce on it every chance you get, then it's gonna boost their confidence. And that wasn't a big problem for me as a student because I was a little arrogant, but I've noticed with students that I tutor for you, like it just makes such a huge difference to every time you give a critical feedback about improvement to also say something positive, like that part of the sentence was good, and I like how you showed your work and you did this right, and you translated the word problem correctly. Now next time let's improve on like this part, so they feel like they're going in a positive direction instead of just being criticized or feeling like they're inferior or not good enough. But that's the counterintuitive part, because then it's like, well, you're still doing the tutoring for some purpose. It's not because you're perfect. So some kind of balance there.
Do you think, I know you tutored a young lady who was in a private school, and she had to do a take-home test because she hadn't done well twice, if I recall correctly. And I mean, I know she had a disability. Was there any, you think, test anxiety involved around that? Because now it was a take-home test. Did she have some kind of maybe blockage, you think? I don't remember even her grade level right now, but I know you had to do it for 4 or 5 days straight, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I think this might be a little off topic, but I think like motivation is like the key top thing. Because at the end of the day, if the kids aren't self-motivated or have a practical reason to be doing the tutoring that they've consented to and that they agree with,
Mm-hmm.
they're just not going to do well. And even if they do well, it'll be this superficial thing, and they'll go to college and
They don't have the skin. They don't have their skin in the game, right?
yeah, exactly. So, and that's the thing is, like, especially these days, like, there is nothing stopping you. Like, I did have a student that I could tell was just had another computer next to her and was like typing it into like a language learning model, like a Claude or a ChatGPT.
Okay, AI. Yeah.
Like, well, what am I gonna do? And I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, you're tutoring. You're there. You're there to tutor them, not to like oversee that they're not cheating or anything. So.
And it was probably hard to confirm that if you couldn't see it.
Yeah, and like, what am I gonna say? Like, oh, I know that you didn't just come up with that yourself or something, or I don't know. But
yeah,
as far as the take-home thing, yeah, like a lot of that is not necessarily performance anxiety, but more like motivation, because some of that is like, well, you could just do it, or you didn't set the time aside for it. But a lot of these questions are kind of more deeper psychological stuff that all people deal with. Procrastination,
the executive functioning skills.
Yeah, the cycle of guilt and procrastination, and then how you feel bad because you procrastinated it a day, so you're going to avoid thinking about it. So you procrastinated it 2 days, and now I feel double shamed, and now I'm going to avoid it even more, and then you're just digging yourself into the hole, and then you end up not doing the take-home test that your tutor just walked you through and gave you the answers.
And I know you did. You did an SSAT prep too before you left town. How was that, young lady, in terms of test success? I'm not even sure if we heard.
She was that was like the opposite. She was like totally self-motivated, and she was absorbing everything I was saying and like making all these meticulous sticky notes, and had like a board of sticky notes behind them. She was going like this and sticky notes in front of the computer and stuff, and making the flashcards that I told her to make, and stuff like that. Because that's where the tutoring is different than teaching. It's more like you're like a personal trainer for a school, trying to help them get a good grade.
Right.
You have to, do the suggestions that you give them.
Yeah, and was she doing like the homework and things like that? Anything you suggested to her? She was doing.
Yeah, because that one was tough with the vocabulary on that. That's another one where you really just can't procrastinate that, and that has to be done way in advance. The SAT vocabulary, because there's thousands of words and
right, vocabulary words. You either kind of know them or don't, or you got to learn some strategies.
Like trivia, yeah, and that's where you need to do something ahead of time. Like, oh, every time I hear a word in a movie or on the news that I don't know,
look it up. Write it down. Actually, is better if you write it down, define it instead of just looking it up on a phone.
That goes into another topic of like exploring everybody's learning habits and styles, and that was me for sure. Is I definitely learned by writing it out myself.
Yeah.
And when I would take the test, I could see the thing that I wrote. I was a lot more likely to see it in my mind instead of typing it and printing it out. So there's something in this digital age. Yeah, take kids back to some of the analog stuff.
I know. I mean, well, now in Georgia, you may not know this, but they've removed cell phones. That's a Georgia law now out of the classrooms. They can't have.
That's really actually a shame. That's kind of a shame, but because it's such a great tool.
It is if they know how to use it.
Yeah, my next step was going to be in my personal life and in my professional life. I kind of combine the two. Like I write things out, and then I take a picture with my phone, and I do all the digital advantages. Like, oh, I'm going to take physical notes, and I'm going to take a picture and save it in a note or email it to myself and put it in a folder, and like, have it both ways. Have the physical part, but have the advantage of the organization and the speed of the digital stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think they have the time for all of that in the classroom. That would be great if classrooms could actually teach how to use like the things you just said. Like
Right.
there is a lot to be said about when you do write things down. It's from the
Yeah.
head to the paper, and it does stick more. But I also definitely see the benefit to digital as well.
And then, of course, the answer to that, if you wanted to say the other side of the coin, was that it's going to be too much temptation and too much distraction in that. But that's where you can use some pretty strict like parental controls and stuff like that, where only certain apps can be accessible during certain times. And might be well, I never even thought of that too. We were just talking about it, but you could make it so only the scanning app and the voice recorder and the notes and the email, and then everything else doesn't work. So
let me ask you, when you mentioned flashcards earlier, did you have the young lady actually write out the words and then the definitions on these flashcards, or was it done digitally?
That I actually don't know if she did it or not. I'm inferring that she did because her performance really improved. So a different way done it, and that's another huge tutoring parenting thing, is to just meet people where they are, because you're not going to be able to change them, and in a short amount of time that you have to work with them, they're not going to change any of their bad habits or learning styles. So you just got to talk with them and communicate openly, and then see what's best for them and how they already do things. And then, so I actually don't. I suggested that she actually write them out and make them physical, but I don't know what she actually did. Because I like that too. Not only the physical writing, I like the physical existence of the card for some reason.
Yeah.
And it could be just nostalgia, or because I am part of that, like where the digital stuff was just starting, and I kind of got to experience both worlds. But yeah, I just love the physical existence of the card and the way you can put it back into the back when you don't know it.
Yeah.
And that satisfaction of,
well, you can make different stacks. These are the ones I do know. These are the ones I don't know as well. You can't really do that digitally.
But it doesn't have that. Maybe kids these days are different, but for me, it doesn't have that same like visceral, like, oh, it's in my hand. I don't know it. It goes back. I do know it. It goes over here. The stack's physically getting smaller. I can see my progress. So yeah, I would suggest that. And then the time that it takes to make them is where a student or parent might think that, well, I'm kind of wasting time. But I think the physical act of writing it is part of how it sticks in your mind. And I also like seeing things in my own handwriting. I don't know if that's just a leftover thing from like elementary school or middle school, but that kind of feels easier to remember as well, and to visualize. But
yeah. Well, I think, I mean, there's definitely a benefit to digital certain things, but not, I think physical cards are better actually, because number one, you can kind of carry them around with you. So whenever you have some downtime, you're in a car, your parent is driving you somewhere, and you have a sibling and you're having to hang out at their swim lesson for 30 minutes and you're not doing anything else. You're more than likely, if you have the physical cards in your hand, I think you're more likely to go through them. Whereas if they're on your phone somewhere, or you don't have your phone, or it's not charged, or whatever it is.
Click on the card and open up Instagram or YouTube.
Yep. Well, I appreciate your time. I know we've been talking a little bit, and I know I have a podcast interview to do here soon. So I know you're going to be on a podcast as well. He will be joining me on season 16. I can't believe it's been 6 years I've been doing a podcast, but it's season 16. So you can find Stash on there too come fall when I start to release season 16. So we'll have several guests, and Stash is going to be one of them. So I appreciate your time today. And, I will see you soon because we have to record a podcast.
I appreciate you having me, and I look forward to that.
All righty. Thank you.
All right.
Bye. See ya.